kind of strange actually, because usually we got beautiful sunny skies, but for the last couple of days, man, just kind of gloomy, just like the charts for the day. So as you can see behind me, it's a red day. However, there is some actual good news about the red day because it is now trapped in that zone that we've been talking about for the last couple of days. So it did not crash, and it also obviously didn't spike back up, but it is currently in that little zone, which could be a consolidation zone or a sideways trade zone for us before the leg of the next up move. So today we have a great video for you. We are going to be talking about Shiba Inu. We're going to go over the charts. We're also going to talk about the tax bill that was just launched, the actual infrastructure bill, but they slipped in behind our backs, the crypto bill. We're going to go over that a little bit. Obviously, none of this is financial information. None of this is tax advice, none of that. But this is crypto news, and we surf the headlines here, and we want to make sure that you know everything that is going on. So let's go ahead and jump into the charts, and then we'll go ahead and analyze this headline and this actual article about the tax issue inside of that new bill that they just passed. What's going on, everyone? Win with Ryan here, and we're going to start this video off with a quick giveaway. We're giving away $100, and all you have to do is subscribe to my YouTube channel, like this video, comment below. Every single comment gives you an entry to win, and then go over to winwithryan.com to make sure that you are subscribed to my Make Money newsletter. That's where we announce the winner every single month. So with that being said, keep winning. All right, cool. So yesterday we did come down and it tapped off of that red candle 2 days ago. Yesterday we had a really, really strong pullback, right? And we actually talked about this back here a couple of days ago when this one started to drop. We talked about this being a support level, which it had been before previously. And then we also talked about this being the major support level, because as you see, this one dropped all the way to here. This one dropped all the way to here, rebounded. This one broke that support, and that's when we were actually, we were basically live watching this happen. It was pretty scary to watch because a lot of people were like freaking out a little bit, and it came all the way down into what's called the buy zone inside of the Fibonacci, which is between the 618 and the 786. Now, for those of you that are learning how to chart and doing this, when you go into your Fibonacci settings, when you're in here, you can go up and you can actually change stuff in your Fibonacci. And this one right here is usually not marked, and it's also not 0.7. So I turned that one on, and I actually included 0.7, and I make it white. So that way it stands out nicely. So you can see it amongst all the other colors, because that is a buy zone indicator. If something comes down into there in your Fibonacci section, whatever your Fibonacci would be, that is a zone that you can look to for a buy opportunity. In fact, if we take a look at our most recent Fibonacci, you always need a new high and a new low, whichever way you want to go, because you can also, like right now, we do know, obviously, we are trending up, right? So we currently know if we take our trend line, we draw from the bottom, and then we go up, and oh my gosh, look at that. It actually stayed on the trend as well. So go figure, right? Everything seems to stay on the trend. It's almost like as if people know where to take the price when they want to take it there or something. I don't know, but it is kind of weird. So anyway, the trend is here. And if you look, this right here being the trend is currently up. Okay, so that is an uptrend. In fact, if we look at our current trend, our short-term trend is what they would call it. So if we go from here to here, we are in a short-term downtrend. All right. And if we connect those two, oh my gosh, actually take a look at what we got here. We have a symmetrical triangle forming. Pretty interesting there, right? So right now, though, it's trapped in this little zone, and we're on the daily. So it did come back off of this major resistance, and it dropped down. Okay. It was a major support, but it flops. When it drops below that, then it becomes the opposite. So now it's the major resistance. We want to see it break through. We currently have 1 hour, 1 minute left. This thing came all the way down here. So what's also interesting, look, this drove all the way down and tapped the 7, drove up nice and strong, came back down again and tapped the 5. Wow. Okay. So I wonder if tomorrow we can see a nice move up and then it comes and taps us 382, because that happens sometimes to us as well. But we're going to go ahead and take a look at the Fibonacci again. we're going to grab a new one. Since we have a new high and a new low, we are going to drag one from here. And this is a reverse Fibonacci to here and take a look at what we've done. Okay, so we're going to actually take this older one that we have, and we are going to hide that one. Turn that one back on. So let's go to fib, and we want to go here. We're going to hide it. So now we only are working with our current Fibonacci. So a couple of things here. This is the opposite direction. So now this dropped here and it started back here. So we could see it easily come back to the 618 or the 70 or the 786 here as our next moves. Okay, so this drop and then continuation up. Now, obviously, we have a much grander vision. 0001212 is where we see the actual price going on the upside Fibonacci, but we're just looking on the downside Fibonacci. If something were to happen here, where could it go? And it could, in all reality, finish back. And if it were to continue its downward momentum, we could see it come back to quad 0205. Now, that was if it was in a real downtrend. Right now, though, we are only in a short-term downtrend. And our major trend here is uptrend, as we talked about. And the only issue we would have is if for some reason this continued down and it broke below this trend support. So this is our uptrend support line. This is our downtrend resistance line now. Okay, so this is where it's been bumping off of as a resistance. Doesn't want to go through. What we want to see this do is break through that tomorrow. We would like to see another massive red candle. Also very positive, as you can see here. This candle here was red. This candle here was green, but it's called a fully engulfing green candle, meaning it ate this whole candle. That's very, very much bullish momentum. And there is also something you can do under indicators. If you go into here and you go into built-ins, and then you go into candlestick patterns, and then you go into engulfing bullish. There we go. And that will turn on all of the engulfing bullish candlesticks. And you can see here, this is showing some indicators of bullish engulfing patterns along our way. Now, we also have some other major bullish engulfings, but they are not being signaled here over in these patterns as well. But there's a bunch of different candlesticks. If you go into indicators, built-ins, let's go ahead and look at a doji star. Let's just look at a doji candle. And this right here is a doji, right here is a doji, doji. So these are what's called indecision patterns. So it's not sure which way it's going. Now, some of you expert traders out there, you already know all these things. That's excellent. But for those of you that are beginner traders, there is a book that you can find online. And that book is called The Candlestick Bible. I highly recommend you go get that as well. If you're going to do crypto long-term, this is something you're really interested in, you want to go learn those things. Okay, so now that we're on the 4 hour, you can see that our pattern is starting to develop here. We want to go ahead and get rid of this fib though. We don't need this one anymore. And go ahead and remove that pattern there. So this is what we have on the 4 hour. As you can see, we did play out that market cycle. Looks just like the market cycle we talked about. It's starting to make its next move up. It is trading sideways. So over the last couple of hours, we are in that little bit of a stalemate, not sure which way it's going to go, which is a positive thing. We do not want to see it sell off. There's a lot of talks about those major bullish or their major wallet holders now, these billionaire wallet holders. If people are scared because they could make a massive move and drop tons and tons of the market. But as we talked about yesterday, Shiba Inu holders are typically there for the actual community and helping things go. And we hope that they don't plan on dumping their whole bag. Hopefully just take some profits and not too much. All right, and here is the tax bill I wanted to bring up today. House passes $1 trillion infrastructure bill with crypto tax for Biden's approval. So they slipped it in there for us, right? Because they had been talking about that this was going to be in one of the bills coming up, but they couldn't get one passed, so they had to pass another one. And they're always, I don't even pay attention to the news anymore, but when this pops up in the crypto headlines, I've got to cover it. So the infrastructure bill was first proposed by the Biden administration amid at primarily improving the national transport network and internet coverage. Also, by the way, we are covering this information. We are not trying to get into any political beefs, so don't go crazy down in the comments about this, that, whatever. And if you're an enlightened being, which most people into crypto are, you meditate and you understand the laws of the universe, positive, negative, and stuff like that, you do already know that there is no real red versus blue, Democrats versus Republicans anyway. It's all one big conglomerate. They're there just to control us. And, you should do some research on that if you want to know the truth. So don't get your panties in a wad if you're like, whatever the case may be when it comes to politics. So the United States House of Representatives passed a $1.2 trillion bipartisan infrastructure bill, which, if signed into law by the President Joe Biden, would enforce new provisions in relation to crypto tax reporting for all citizens. Now, also, this has passed the House of Representatives, but it has not been signed by the president yet. So he could veto this, but with it being a $1.2 trillion, and we know that $1.2 trillion does not go into infrastructure, it goes to the pockets of all of their friends, right? I don't know why all the politicians' family members are all construction workers, and then they all get contracts for putting roads to nowhere. It's pretty crazy, but anyway, lots and lots of money. So it's very, very scary on what could be happening. Hopefully, maybe there could be some adjustments to that bill before it goes into law. The infrastructure bill was first proposed aimed at primarily improving national transport. However, the bill mandated stringent reporting requirements for the crypto community, requiring all digital asset transactions worth more than only $10,000 to be reported to the IRS. That is actually not a lot of money when it comes to crypto. People are trading huge amounts of profits. I mean, just the fact that you might go from, let's say, Bitcoin, you have a big bag of Bitcoin, and now you want to transition over to Ethereum, or you have Ethereum and you want to transition over to Binance or whatever, and you're moving bags, that $10,000 for a lot of people, it gets moved around a lot. And for you to have to be able to keep up with all of your transactions, might be smart to get a good crypto accountant or something. So as reported, the bill was first approved by the Senate August 10th with a 69-30 vote, which was met with proposal and compromise the amendment by a group of 6 senators, Pat Toomey, Cynthia Lummis, blah, them. The legislation imposes a badly flawed and in some cases unworkable cryptocurrency tax reporting mandate that threatens future technological innovation. Despite the lack of clarity in the bill's verbatim, the infrastructure bill intends to treat crypto communities, software developers, transaction validators, and node operators similar to brokers of traditional institutions. The House of Representatives passed the controversial infrastructure bill to President Biden after securing a win of 228 to 206 votes. In addition, the crypto community showed concerns over the vague description of the word broker. No one even knows what broker means in this bill. So that may consequently impose unrealistic tax reporting requirements for sub-communities such as the miners. As you can see here, the bill is unconstitutional and inherently anti-American. Private citizens have the right to financial privacy and financial freedom. Absolutely shameful to see this. That is in response to this tweet here. We need to act today, November 4th, to prevent this bill from passing unchanged tomorrow, November 5th. Please review this brief for more. As a repercussion, the inability to disclose crypto-related earnings will be treated as tax violation and a felony. That's the verbiage in this bill. Legal experts recommended amendments to the infrastructure bill to consider failure to report digital asset transactions as a criminal offense. Abraham Sutherland, a lecturer from the University of Virginia School, cited concerns over U.S. government's decision to blanket term crypto sub-communities as brokers, stating, "It's bad for all users of digital assets, but it's especially bad for decentralized finance. The statute would not ban DeFi outright. Instead, it imposes reporting requirements that, given the way DeFi works, would make impossible to comply." So let me know down in the comments down below, do you think this is just like some smoke? This will get fixed? Do you think it's a major issue? Obviously with us being in the crypto community, some people get scared away by this. Like, you want to talk about FUD about anything, this is the ultimate FUD. Now, I will say this, Bitcoin has not taken a hit today, which is great because it's at 61,445. We're wanting to maintain that actual support of 60,000 so it can continue its move up. As you know, like a lot of people are like, Bitcoin, oh, Bitcoin sucks, bro. Bitcoin's so old, so outdated. It's like not even good. BS, bro. This whole entire market of everything that is going would not be around if it was not for Bitcoin. When Bitcoin goes up, everything around it goes up. All right. So yes, there are some altcoins that perform differently during different cycles, blah, blah, blah. But everything works better when Bitcoin is crushing. And we should all know that. So keep that in mind.